Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another interesting machine on the VulnHub, which is Lampião. I will put the link in the video below so that you can download it and play it on your own. So throughout this video, I will be using Metasploit framework. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now we can head over to Kali Linux VM to begin with. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. Alright, as you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 252. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and service scanning with Nmap. To save time of this video, I've already completed before, so now we can simply get out its result. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see here, I took the options like scene scan, the virtual scan, default script scan, followed by the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just as what I'm doing now. Although you can notice here, the IP address has been changed since I re-imported the machine into VirtualBox. So this time, different IP address has been assigned to the target machine by internal DHCP server of VirtualBox. Anyhow, this won't affect our application. From the Nmap scanning result, we can tell the target has 1, 2, 3 open ports. The first port, open port 22, the surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get the version information. Though this version is pretty much outdated, I don't think we can find exploit or vulnerability for this particular version of OpenSSH. Let's move on. The second open port 80, and the surface possibly is HTTP, but the Nmap cannot determine its exact version information. The last one is 1898. The surface is HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And also we can get the version information Apache 2. And because of this SC or default script scanning option, we can tell this site has robots file available which contains 36 disallowed entries. So maybe it's time to use Python to automatically retrieve all entries at one time rather than walking through those 36 entries or directories one by one. Okay? So what shall we do next? We need to enumerate the two web applications manually, both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address of the target machine into the address bar. Press enter. So it's easy. Blah, 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 blah. Nothing useful. We can check its source code. And also nothing here. We can check to see whether we can access the robots file or not. But unable. Very interesting. So now we can launch the Nicto to perform automatic enumeration. But because of some reasons, Nicto cannot run properly as usual. And anyhow, we can launch the GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. And we still get some error. I think the reason is that this is not a standard HTTP service. Okay, so maybe we can connect it to the target machine over this port number by netcat. It's automatically disconnected. So I don't think we can find anything useful from this port number 80. Let's go ahead with the number, port number 1898. Let's access this site manually with browser. And Lampião, we can try to use admin as a username, admin as password to log in. But not successful. And here we can register. But I'm not going to do that. If you want, you can create your account. But at the bottom, we can notice CMS information Drupal. Okay? And let's go back to the home page. And to check its source code, sometimes source code can reveal something sensitive. Section, nothing useful here. Next, let me retrieve the robots file, right? Press enter. And just as I said at the beginning, we need to use Python to retrieve all entries at one time rather than walking through all 36 entries one by one, okay? And to that, we need to do some processing first, or pre-processing. And we can use grep, disallow, allow. And all related lines have been extracted. Next, we can pipe to awk, print the second column. Okay, and we can redirect or save to file. Next, we can launch Python 3 interactive environment, import requests module. This is the third-party module. In order to use it, you have to install it with pip or some other tools. Okay, and we can define the variable base URL. So prefix with slash. So here we can, then we can open these directories file or word list with read-only mode as F for line in read lines method URL. Concatenate base URL pass line strip space in the end, and response should be requests get URL, and we can, of course, if we can have if statement response status code equals to 200. It means the request is successful, and then we can print out response source code, and also we can print URL, print some kinds of separator, right? Okay, let's press enter. Oh, lines, sorry, I misspelled this one. Oh, terrible. Let me do it one more time. For line, okay, and URL, we need to remove this S and then response. Okay. Print URL. Okay, that's it. Hit enter. Oh, terrible. I misspelled. Sorry about it. Print response. Print URL. Hopefully this time can work. Oh, sorry. I need to do it one more time. Interesting. Response. Ah. No problem. For line, read the lines. URL, base, URL, line strip, and response, requests, get URL, if status code, and then we can print text. Also, we can print corresponding URL, print. Okay, now it works. Let's scroll up. So all entries, 36 entries, can be retrieved at one time. Very quick, very effective way. If we, if I didn't make a mistake. Let's scroll up to see what we can get. Modules information, and so what else? Some license information. Drupal database. We get some version information. So what's the version number of this CMS? So far, we have known the CMS is Drupal, but we didn't get its version yet. Version number. a lot of output, I have to say. A bit intimidating, right? So I think the version should be 7.54. So now I think we can exit from Python 3 and use the searchsploit and the version and the several exploits. Even the Metasploit has a corresponding module. So now next I'd like to launch Metasploit console to see whether we can utilize this framework to exploit. If we can't, and then we come back to exploits and exploit it manually. Okay, we can search Drupal, and if you want, you can try one by one, but I'd like to try this one. We can use this module. You can use index number or relative path of this module. We can leave the payload to default one. We can show options, set local host to our kernel Linux, set local port number to 555, set a remote host to our target, set remote port number. Let's run it to see whether we can get Meterpreter session. The target is vulnerable. Beautiful. We'll wait to see. Yeah, so beautiful. Meterpreter session one opened. So this means, we can get the initial foothold on the target machine. Okay, and we can run command shell to get the shell, and which Python 2 is available. Import pty module. Okay, and what can we do next? We need to gather information about this target machine. Only one normal user, so nothing here. Go to apt directory, nothing, var, backups, so nothing here. Go to www directory, go to HTML directory, and to go to, for example, like a sites. We need to look for configuration file, default, and how about settings? And we can scroll up. I think we find this password. So next, we can check to see whether this password is reused somewhere else. For example, is used by this user, Tiago. It does work. Of course, alternatively, we can use Hydra to make brute forcing. Okay, so now we can, maybe we can SSH to the target machine. SSH Tiago. Oh, I need to remove history public key. Yes, and we can copy the password. Okay, it's better. So now we can run sudo. But current user may not run sudo. And how about a find command? So this command is going to find binaries which have SUID bit. Although there are several binaries which have SUID bit, but they are not exploitable. If you want to confirm, you can go to the website of GTF Obins. Okay, so how to next? Maybe I can upload linpeas shell script to do the automatic enumeration. And I've already got this script ready on the Linux. So next we need to upload this script to the target machine. And we can set up a web server locally, and then we can use wget to upload. Okay, it's done. And we need to make it executable and run it. When we try to make lateral movement or privilege escalation, in most cases, we should make use of this wonderful script to perform automatic enumeration, because it can gather information about the machine from various aspects, such as SUID bit, clone job, local exploits. Very, very powerful. Let's scroll up. Active pause, cron job information, processes information, and we find some. So I think in this case, we have to, utilize the local exploit to elevate privilege. And here, and we find this dirty cow exploit, and I'd like to try this one. We can copy and download this exploit from the exploit database website. It's done. And next we can move from downloads directory. Next we should upload this exploit to target machine. So the name of this file is this one. We can copy. Okay, and next we need to compile it. But how to? We can cut out this file. Usually, instruction for compiling is located at the header, at its header. Okay, let's scroll up. Yeah, this one. We can copy this line of code or command. It does work, right? So next we can run dirty cow. So the password has been changed. We can copy this password and change it to root user. Great. So now we can navigate to root directory to grab the flag without any issue. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.